Hey everybody, it's Tony the Half Brother here again, and this is Who You Calling a Bitch Part 2.
That's my word. We came too far to throw it all away. I swear I'll never call you bitch again. Believe it. We came way too far, pretty baby.
So you still think she's a bitch? You still feel as if you can just approach her any way you want? You still believe that she's subservient? You still believe that she's inferior? You still believe that she has no prominent position? You gonna learn today.
And as long as your woman is a bitch and a whore in your mind, you'll never stand up for her. And if you won't stand up for her and the children that she produces for us, it is better that we be dead.
Oh, ever since last video, all I've heard is, Tony, you were so wrong. Tony, we have the right to do this. We have the right to do that. Tony, we're so strong. You know what I mean? We got testosterone. The woman has estrogen. You know, the man is physically dominant. The man is more advanced than the female. And I'm like, yo, you guys lack proper scholarship. So if that's what you really think, then let's go to Biology 101.
Edith Heard's team has just broken new ground in understanding these mechanisms. The researchers focused particularly on a fascinating chromosome in female mammals, the X chromosome. In human beings and in most mammals, the sex is determined by the X and Y chromosomes. Females inherit two X's and males one X and one Y. But with 100 genes on the Y against 1,300 on the X, there's a clear imbalance. To restore the balance, one of the two X chromosomes is inactivated in females right at the start of their embryonic development. In fact, it's an epigenetic mechanism which contributes to silencing one of the X chromosomes and, above all, of maintaining that silence throughout a female's life.
X inactivation is essential. If one of the two X chromosomes is not shut down during development of a female, the embryo dies very early on.
Yo, did anybody just hear what I heard? Did I just really hear that a woman is more advanced on a biomolecular level than a man? Like, she has 300 more genes than a man per chromosome? Wow. Are you guys really understanding this? This means that a female actually has to shut down half of her DNA sequence just to be able to be compatible to accept the information that comes from the man in the form of the Y chromosome. So what we can learn from this is that before she even goes to 9 months of gestation, before she even goes to the pain and the trauma of delivery, she already makes a great sacrifice in order for you to be here. Now, I may be wrong. Let's just hear it again.
X inactivation is essential. If one of the two X chromosomes is not shut down during development of a female, the embryo dies very early on.
Now, this video right here, this actually demonstrates that no matter how big we get, how strong we get, how masculine we get, how rich we get, how successful we get, when we're first born, when we're first entered into this world, the first thing that we want is our substance of life. We want our source of life, our source of sustenance. We want our moms. And after seeing all of that, you still think that she's unworthy of your respect? You think she still needs to walk around with the title bitch? And yes, I'm not gonna act as if what we see today isn't abnormal, but what we have to understand is that this is something that manifests itself from out of our doing. We started it. And now the woman has taken up the mantle because use becomes second nature. So we've called her a bitch for so long that she's now calling herself a bitch. And guess what happens? Our kids grow up hearing her use these ad hominems. Our kids grow up hearing us use these ad hominems. What do you think happens? We continually perpetuate the same cycle of ignorance. So, as always, my videos are here to inform. And if you think light of the woman, then let me show you two more examples. Now we're all familiar with this scene. This is the miracle of Jesus turning water into wine. But now, let's see what the female does with water, in essence. What you are now witnessing is the miracle of life, the manifestation and the creation of life. A miracle that even Jesus himself was subjected to, respectively. Now, if you notice, there is the semen playing a big role, but if we take the word semen and we break it down, as it is a polysyllabic word, we break it down into 2 syllables, see-men. Don't you see that it's synonymous to water? See-men. Now look what she does with the semen. She's able to take years of evolution and compress it into 9 months of gestation. Now, if that's not a miracle, guys, then I don't know what is. Now, after witnessing all of that, do you still think that she's beneath you? Do you still think that you have power over her? Do you still think that she isn't of substance? Do you think that she's unworthy to be respected? Now, a lot of the men might come in and they might say, well, you know, you're simping, which I don't really understand what that term means, because if a man shows adoration for his female, why is that simping? But the real truth of the matter is that it's always simping until someone calls your daughter a bitch, until someone calls your wife a bitch, until someone calls your mother a bitch. Now all of a sudden it's not simping. But for all you guys who think that, like, let's not act as if when we're in love with these females and they leave us, or we do something that encourages them to change their mind and their perspective of us and decide to go for a change, and they leave us in the dust, let's not act like we don't react like this.
Why she keep doing me like this, Lord? I want to make it right. I didn't even do nothing. Oh, some clothes, she can have them clothes. I want my wife, man. I can't do it without her.
All right, so it's the end of another one, you know. I think I'm getting the hang of this stuff. But seriously, guys, like, you know, I hope you guys received the message well, and I hope there's no contention within its delivery. And, you know, just another point, like, if you guys really think that we're gonna uplift or change society without uplifting our same female, you know, it's kind of erratic and impossible for us to even achieve that, you know, it's hard for us to even achieve that goal. And reason being is because she has so much power that we sometimes overlook it. For instance, you know, if the females right now said that, hey, we're not gonna be dealing with gangbangers, we're not gonna be dealing with drug dealers, we're not gonna be dealing with people who deal and entertain debaucherous lifestyles, and they say, you know, we're only gonna deal with educated men, we're only gonna deal with scientists, we're only gonna deal with economists, and you would drastically see the change in the influx of people going to get biology books and registering themselves into schools, and because, you know, we do what we think impresses a female, and she sets that very tone. So with all that being said, I gotta get up out of here, and I hope you guys enjoy the video, and until next time, I think you're great. Not only do I think you're great, I think you're the greatest, and there's no one better than you. Don't need to ask for it.